Hello, welcome to my single player world. I'm currently on the bridge of the Enterprise E. E is in Edward, the rebuild. This ship is, yeah, this is my build. I'm pretty proud of it. Did a lot of work on it, rebuilding it and stuff like that. And anywho, thought I would come on here and give you a bit of an update what's going on. Yesterday's video was an interesting one because I recorded it originally and I was having a bunch of issues with Optifine and translucent glass blocks and whatnot. And I ended up having to turn Optifine off and try to troubleshoot it. There were two videos yesterday. One video was me talking about the problems having with Optifine, and then there was the video kind of giving the server update. But I was pretty focused with trying to figure out why I could not get the stuff to work. Well, today my friend Holger, he wanted some help with a new pack that he has made. He wanted me to play it with him to see if it would load and whatnot. And he recommended using multi MC. And I haven't used multi MC for a very long time, so he walked me through the process of installing the mod on it and firing it up, and it worked beautifully. So I figured, well, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and try that with uh, with Mindtrack. So I went ahead and did a fresh install of MC Edit, install of Minecraft 1.12.2 on multi-MC. And then I went ahead and installed the latest Forge for that version. And then I dropped the Mindtrack mod pack into the mods folder, unzipped all the mods, put all the mods into here, and set the resource pack and boot it up, and it has been working flawlessly for me. I did dedicate actually 9 gigs of RAM to the process, but no other Java arguments, and I did set it to use my actual latest Java installation and not the Java installation that the game wants to use. So Multi-AMC gave me the option to use Java, which is what Minecraft just comes with, or use my Java installation, which is on my C drive, and I chose my C drive because I know that I keep that up to date. So I did that and fired it up, and it's been working great. I recorded a video, but I started talking politics, and yeah, I kind of get carried away with that. So I figured I'll just go ahead and re-record this video for y'all and just walk around the Enterprise E here and check stuff out, see if we can find any flaws and mistakes. I did quite a few in the last video, found quite a few in it. So I got some work ahead of me on when this thing actually gets back onto the actual server proper. And again, I don't know what the timeline is going to be for actually rebuilding the Enterprise E or D on the new server, but I'm sure that people are eager to get started on it as soon as possible. Um, I sort of kind of am in a way, but I realize there is a lot of build work to be done on. These ships are not small. They are very big ships. Thankfully, we have, the deck plans that I designed for both builds to work from. Plus, we also have the Luminosity B to pull from. And Shadow Appler and a lot of people just love this ship. I mean, Killer Waffles and other folks adore the Enterprise E just as much as the rest of us do. So we got a lot of people that'll put some TLC into it once it's up and running, and we get the deck plans laid out. I'm pretty sure we're going to have some pretty cool builders doing builder stuff on it. So it's going to be a chore to redo, but we're going to have a lot of help. That's what I'm trying to say. We're going to have a lot of help. So yeah, not looking forward to it, but I'm kind of looking forward to it. You know what I mean? Now, when it comes to this kind of stuff, there's really nothing much we could do. I mean, I could use stairs there and stairs here and kind of hide all this stuff. I really could, but then you end up with things like over here. I mean, this is part of the actual. If you remove that block, you could just float out into space, sort of a thing. We don't want that. Bad things. Um, but these are things that are limited that would be addressed with modded blocks. And my philosophy when it comes to modded is build vanilla first, then go modded. That way there you always have a vanilla ship to fall back on in the event that modded can't be updated. So, and that I honestly have to admit I do believe is one of the main hangups we're currently experiencing. Is modded has made things very difficult for MHeller. And it's a shame because, modded means more options. And that's a very good thing, especially when you want to build these. You should see the work that I don't want to surprise it, but there are a couple of fellows working on using Chisel and Bits and other things. They have done a beautiful replica of the Enterprise D main bridge. I mean, absolutely beautiful replica of it, and it fits and it looks great. So I got the scaling right on the Enterprise D originally, so I was pretty stoked about that. But they did a really nice job. But again, once it's built, it's really hard to move, and it has to be set, and so it's best to go with vanilla and then work on modded at that point. Have a clone of the ship and go modded with it. So that's probably what we're going to end up doing with both the E and the D, and probably any other major build going forward. I know Shadow's pretty upset because he did a lot of modded work with his Luminosity B, and it's going to have to be redone, obviously, or worked. They're going to have to find a workaround to fix it and things like that. So, but yeah, he's pretty. It's a big ship, and he did a lot of work on it. So I'm pretty sure we can update it, pretty quick. No major boogaloo there. We can get her done. Work on it and do what we have to do. But all in all, it's gonna be fun, ish. It's also gonna be a chore. But I'm pretty stoked for it because with the rebuild of this Enterprise E and of course the Enterprise D, I think we have a lot going for us. I think we have the ability to do a lot, so I'm pretty happy about that. Yeah, okay. Typically this right here would be these blocks because this denotes a bulkhead. So real quickly, I will go across and fix that. I'm going to find mistakes no matter what I do, and things I update on this when I'm recording. I can go back and see it's already been done here. I can address. Actually, we'll just keep going this way. I can go back and address on the build when it goes on to the proper ship, sorry, to the proper server. Mind track proper. That's what I meant to say. But yeah, walking through here, getting to explore a bunch of stuff. There are empty rooms like offices and stuff. Well, got another office right here. I easily can combine these two offices, but I mean, it doesn't need to be that big. I mean, it's just an office. Check your ego at the door. Privilege be God. But you can get up here. You can work on stuff up here. I tried to use as much of the little nooks and crannies as I could, filling them in. So yeah, everything felt like it felt like it had a depth as you explored the ship. You get this depth to it and whatnot. Walk out here, and of course, we got breathable air, blue skies and whatnot. But if the ship wasn't in atmosphere, we would be toast. Actually, we'd been toast when we got down here. No air on this deck. Whew, man, this deck is awful windy. Oh my god. Yeah, little bathroom right here, a little staging area. They got a environmental locker here. The phaser stuff. There's a cool mod out. I think it's called Matter Override. That actually has Star Trek phasers and stuff in it. It's a really cool mod pack, but not a lot of people use it for their mods and stuff because it does have a little bit of a shady shit going on with it. Sorry. It likes to. You have to physically go in and change some files so that it won't go and do nefarious things like monitor what you're doing on a server and upload your files and whatnot. But I mean, it's a great mod pack. Just somebody somewhere that was supporting it eventually decided to just do some pretty unethical stuff with the mod. So unfortunately, unless you know how to go in and turn that stuff off, it don't get included with your mod packs most of the time. But some mod packs it does. It's a good mod. I enjoyed playing with it before everybody got spooked by it. So because nothing beats a phaser rifle, pew pew pew, or a phaser pistol. Those are fun. I tell you what. In fact, I think you can still get it if you play Resonant Rise. The latest version of Resonant Rise actually has that in it because the mod author knows how to turn the nefarious bits off. So got a nice long turbo lift. Yeah, you gotta watch that first step, George. Hey, ooh, window. Get to look at some window stuff now. Yeah. So let's go ahead and transition outside here real quick. I've kind of burned your ear on that a bit. When I did the rework on the Enterprise E here, I like to point out something really Most people probably already aware of this. Star Trek fans are, anyways. This, if you look at the original Enterprise from the 1960 series, you'll see this object right here is under the underside of the hull. Now, originally, that's because the show, when it was originally written, the saucer would separate and go and land on a planet. These are landing struts. And when they designed the new Enterprise E, it separated because eventually they were going to have a situation where the saucer needed to land on the planet. Anyways, this right here are the struts for the main saucer. Now, since this version of the ship does not land, we had to come up with something else for him. So I just turned him into, I don't know, heat sensor something's blah blah blah, track babble, whatever. But up here, if we come up, actually, we gotta go further back here. Or no, do we go forward? You go forward. Right here is the aquatic tank. This is where the fishy swim, and it's pretty big. I mean, it goes all the way around the saucer. And the fishy can, this is a fishy escape pod right there. It's one of the new things I added with the rebuild. A fishy transporter and whatnot. This is what we call a rare atmosphere containment area. So one area can be filled with water, another area can be filled with exotic gases, and the sciencey people can do their sciencey stuff with these science labs around here, and you know they can come in here via these little passageways right here in environmental suits. So these are rare atmosphere environments. So keep that in mind. Uh, if I were to honestly have to call it now, all of this area along through here would be cargo. Because if the saucer landed, this would not only be a landing strut, but it would also be the way in and out of the ship. And therefore, this areas here would probably be reserved for cargo and, like environmental equipment, landing craft, drive the truck down here and go explore the planet. But again, since this version, the saucer does not separate, we had to come up with something. And what I decided was just make that into some sort of a sensor. And then I had no, intention of having a sky bridge here. But I was just going to pave over all this right here and just put machinery and stuff down there. And this was all just going to be a big tank. But as we were designing it out, we realized that we needed a sky bridge through here because reasons. And when I did the rebuild, I wanted to remove the sky bridge and go with my original concept for this, but again, I could not. I had to keep it. So um, the fishy or whatever, they get that little area right there. They can step down in, and you know, it's just one of those compromises you got to make with Minecraft. Again, a lot of stuff you see with these holes, especially when you get outside and you look at all the greebling and whatnot. A lot of that is done for aesthetic value. And when you get in there and you start looking at where some of these windows are placed, like under the underside of the hull here and stuff like that, this was all done for aesthetic value. That's all it was done for, was aesthetic value. And regrettably, when aesthetics meets function, you end up with like, well, how do you look out this window if it's straight down? Does that mean you have to be straight on top of it to look out the window? That kind of a thing. So it is what it is, you know. You just got to live with it. Try to do what you can with it, and hope for the best. Really, I mean, these shapes, especially with the Enterprise D in its hull, some of those window placements are literally on the bottom of like the drive hull and on the bottom of the saucer. And there's no way if you were to build a standard room that you'd be walking on the windows. I mean, seriously, literally, walk into your front room, it's like, oh look down, it's space. I mean, you could theoretically do that, but I would think that people would prefer not that be the case. So, yeah. So when we rebuild the Enterprise E, I will most likely convert these sections, these larger sections. If I don't, like I said, everything's up in the air, but I would probably make these cargo. So maybe one section of it be something different, but for overall, it's all going to be cargo and whatnot. So that's my intent, and I intend to stick with it. Now, when we explore the ship here, I didn't really cover a lot of the changes I had made because I was kind of preoccupied with trying to figure out why things weren't working. So, as we fly through here and whatnot. I did. Let's get to the center point here, then drop down. One more deck. Yep. So all through here, I added in emergency lockers, EVA lockers, because this is a parking bay and or cargo bay. So, and when I extended all of this out to so that I could include this stairwell right here and everything else, um, I shortened this room down a bit. I, it doesn't really affect much because it's still you got a lot of space in here, but you got your forward torpedo magazine thing there as well, and it doesn't affect a lot of stuff that you see around here or anything else like that. So I figured, why not? I had this extra space along the wall there to come out to fit stuff, and I figured if I moved it even with this, that'd give me enough space to put a bunch of lockers in there, and I did that. So I'm very happy with how that came out. And if we come over here, I think you saw it. Pretty sure you may have. We've got this system here as well. I pioneered this on the Enterprise D build. It's basically a cargo pod using the transport tubes. You know, you'd fill it with material and set it on there, and go, off it goes to wherever it's needed, and then they would unpack it and do whatever. This is one of the things that M. Heller insisted we have on all the ships, and these cargo transports that allow you to move cargo between the decks, and each one of these connects to a cargo room. And on the new Enterprise D, the those oval shapes on the hull, that's what these are. So when I redesign the Enterprise D, it's going to be with the white fire planes, um, are going to reconfigure a lot of that. So we've got some changes coming for the Enterprise D that design-wise, aesthetic-wise, will be different than what we have currently. So basically, it's going to be an all-new build for the most part. It's come out here. This is where cargo bay. I remember designing this. I just had to come up with something, so I just went through and I just designed it, and I really was happy with it. But when I came back through and I redesigned this area, I ripped out a bunch of stuff that I had in here and removed it, and decided that it wasn't really needed. Now, when you get up here, it's like, here's an area that I kind of messed up. Not mom, I'd like to, no, bad terminology there. Um, I kind of made some boo-boos, but there shouldn't be two shuttles sitting here like this. One of the shuttles should actually be, this pad should actually be down, and the shuttle should be on the ground, but you know what? If they're working on shuttles, why not have two? But just so you know, their differences are noticeable. If you come over here, you got one up here, got another lift down there, you got a pair of shuttles right here, then you got the lift floor right here, and you got another lift that's all the way up here. So there are differences between the port and starboard sides, and when the ship got mirrored, somebody didn't realize that, and that things get broken. And it's very important to understand things get broken often if you're not paying attention. So that's always why you always have like a build runner, the person in charge of everything, that keeps that in mind and prevents or tries to prevent mistakes like that from happening. Because when those happen, like they had a lot on the Cobra head of the Enterprise D, and on this and part of the primary hull of the Enterprise D, it gets frustrating quick. I tell you what. But I reworked this island quite a bit and did some changes to it and cleaned it up quite a bit, and I'm very happy with it. Now, I like this hangar bay, and the guys that designed this originally did a really nice job with it and stuff, and I tried to keep as much of it intact as possible because of that. And I told them I would, and I did. I fought the urge to redesign it. The only redesign I mainly did was these were observation rooms, and I removed those because it just didn't work. Not with the spacing and stuff. I just couldn't get them to work properly. So I just went ahead and removed them and repurposed those areas behind there to be something else. And what I did is I kept the windows and stuff along here. They worked just fine. So I figured, yeah, we got these right here. We don't need those right there. So if people want an observation lounge, they can get their asses in a spacesuit, or they can come up here and stand up here and look out. That's the way I look at it. Yeah, or they can just come out here with the doors closed, their force fields are up, and just look around then. So that's my argument, and I'm sticking to it. If you don't like it, oh well, go build your own spaceship. Hee hee. But drop down here, and we're back into this big cargo bay. Now, I really think I did okay with this cargo bay. I really do. I mean, it's a big space. And do we need a massive cargo bay along the outer edge of the ship? I don't know. Like I said, it's all up in the air whether or not we're going to do it or not. So it really, really depends on a lot of things. And it's really too early to say. I mean, I'm just spitballing ideas at this point. But the nice thing about redesigning this Enterprise E is that it gave me a lot of really cool ideas. And I already have a couple ideas for the Enterprise D as well, for its layout as well, because there are things on there that I weren't happy with, but I can't fix because they're chiseled in stone, so to speak. But yeah, I went through and I rebuilt this lounge, gave it a little bit more. I like these blocks, by the color combination of these blocks. Um, okay, this is one of those. This is one of those beep 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 issues. Come back over here. See, this is what we find when we start exploring. We find these things and we fix them. See, all fixed. So yeah, pretty cool, pretty cool. Now, no, no. Okay, cool, cool. Yep, saw that through the window and decided I better come fix it while I'm thinking about it. So yeah, but I redesigned a lot of up here. Let's go ahead and see if we can get up there through a turbo lift. Well, we should be able to get up there through here. This room, a lot of this was reworked so that I could include stairwells. And as you can see again, the starboard side is different than the port side. The port side has a stairwell, the starboard side has a bathroom. And if we come out here, or come down here, this room right here has been rebuilt. Beforehand it was kind of funky design, and I really didn't like it, so I went in and rebuilt it. I got rid of a cross-beam crosswalk, which was, there was, right there was like a stair, like a catwalk you could walk across, and I was really never happy with that, so I went ahead and got rid of it because it led to a bunch of stuff that really didn't need to be there. It was just more noise and stuff. And if we had like the ability to make catwalks look good, I would definitely have, you know, redesigned the area to, you know, keep that in there. But I couldn't get it to look good, and it was just a pain to design around. So I went in, you know what, do we really need the catwalks? No, so I went in and pulled them out. And I'm glad I did, because then I got rid of a whole bunch of other stuff that was just in the way along. You know, you walk along the edge, you had like a little catwalk on the inside of that wall, and it just did not work well. So I was really happy that I got rid of all that stuff. But go up one more deck here, and got another little lounge area here, and we can just come out onto. Actually, the catwalks were up on this deck. Excuse me. Yeah, they came out right there, and went right across over in here someplace. They were just, I did not like them. You can download the original build, and you can see what I'm talking about. You can go through the original build, and you can watch this video, and you can see where the changes and stuff were made. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with how this update went. These new blocks look really good through here. And again, you know, that's the lounge right there, and the little stairwell going up to another lounge right here. All this stuff. It was a lot of fun to go back through and fix and redesign and address some of the things that just were buggering me and just giving me a hard time. What was that? That's netherrack. Why is there a netherrack right here? Interesting. Now I have to go through and turn off some of the netherrack stuff because that is part of the Better Foliage mod, and I think it's F8 or F7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. And we go down to nether vines and turn those to false, and we're done. There we go. And they're still there. Alrighty, well anyways, I do appreciate you taking time to watch again. Thank you for listening to me ramble on here, and if you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button for me. If you didn't enjoy the video, hit that like button for me anyways. You know, don't be lazy. It takes a lot of effort to sit in my chair and walk around and think of things to say to y'all. You know, especially showing off such a beautiful ship like the Enterprise here. So please hit that like button for me, and if you'd like to donate to help the server and help him Heller out, it would be greatly appreciated. Again, the link is in the description below. have a great day. Thanks again for watching. Bye bye.